Hey everyone, welcome to your reading for August 12th to the 18th. This is a weekly forecast, but whenever you come across it, if the energies and messages are aligning with you, know and trust that this message is going to help you navigate the waters coming over the next week or two. My name is Nikki, by the way, and I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm an intuitive artist, and as you can tell, I am a tarot reader that totally loves helping you figure out and then find your path along creating the life, the business, the reality of your dreams. These readings normally attract some very creative, fun, entrepreneurial people, but if you don't find yourself within that little bubble of categories, that's totally okay. Everyone out there looking to be more of who they truly are and live a more authentic and aligned life is welcome. Today, we're going to look at what came through in the pre-shuffle, then we're stepping into the overall energy coming your way this week. And then I'm going to use another one of my personally made spreads called Rest and Reflect. It's perfect if you just need a moment to figure out what's going on, what should you focus on, and where you can be pouring your intention and energy. Because so many of us are out here trying to live our best life, but where do we start? Especially if you're finding that there are so many areas that you want to tweak and adjust and improve in your life, it can be super duper overwhelming. Now, if you enjoy the spread, if you enjoy having something to bounce off of when you're tuning in, doing your intuitive work, or even your personal development, you can actually get your hands on the spreads that I've created and that I've used. There are 12 spreads available in this little booklet. The link to purchase that is below. If you have any questions, reach out, DM me. All right, so let's start with the overall energies and what came through in the pre-shuffle. We had a lot of water energy this week, a lot of emotions, a lot of shifting of the tides in your life. And for many of you, feeling a little bit like this is the start of something big. This is the start of a new journey. This might even be a start of a whole new you. If that's landing, if that's resonating, I've also got something really juicy, a masterclass I ran actually today when I'm recording this called Being in Your Element. Information for that below. Go check it out, completely free for people in my Facebook group, which is a free Facebook group. So the cards that came up and through that is giving me all of this energy of water, of transition, of this ebb and flow, these tides coming in and out of our lives. The first one is the Fool. This is you on a journey. This is you embracing what it is that makes you happy and a willingness to jump into something new, jump into something fresh, jump into trying out things that you've always sort of carried around in the back of your mind as something, significant and important and very maybe personal to you. But this is a time in your life where you're actually embracing it and trying to figure it out. This might come through in pursuing an interest in art. It might come through in going, I haven't traveled much. Let me start doing some local things. Let me start doing some things in my state or even my suburb. And then maybe thinking bigger. This is a card of go for it. So go for it is really how we're kicking off this reading this week and hopefully kicking off this week of the 12th to the 18th or whenever you're finding this. When I see this card, I also get the sense here that there's a lot going on in the card, even though the Fool is a very simple character. And he just knows what he wants and knows what he doesn't, and he's totally cool and fine with it. There's still a lot of elements that go into all of this. Someone doesn't become confidently, authentically, apologetically them without going on a previous journey of a lot of things that didn't align and a lot of things that didn't suit and a lot of baggage from other people and other places. So as you navigate this, leaping out there, taking a jump, taking a risk, trusting the universe, going with the flow, know and trust that there might be some temptations surrounding this to get you off path, to shiny objects of like, okay, you've decided to focus on this, you've decided to go for it, but how about right now, in this moment of you making that decision, I provide a few more. Now, there's nothing wrong with being curious and following different directions, but the Fool this week, in this reading, in this energy, is saying, just trust what you've been called to do and called to follow. Let it be simple. Let yourself be loyal to where you're being led. Let yourself be loyal to where you're being led and trust, trust, trust. A huge element to this card. Trust not only whatever you're called to is meant for you in this moment, there is so much more life, so much more time, so much more available to you in the future as well. Big energy. All right, so our next card coming through just in this pre-shuffle and this pre-reading is the Eight of Cups. Like I said, a lot of cup energy, a lot of water energy. The element this week is water. If you can get out into a pool, into a lake, at a beach, even in your bath or shower, I encourage you to connect with this element a bit more. Even drinking a lot more water this week, just getting things flowing, getting things moving, hydrating yourself internally and externally. Now, with this card in particular, the Eight, this is a sense of movement, of letting things go, of leaving things behind. And that might be things that no longer suit. If you are in this transition period in your life where it's like everything that made sense before no longer makes sense, or no longer works, or no longer is in alignment, this is just not only a confirmation of that, but a reminder as well that you're not leaving everything behind. You're genuinely moving away from, stepping away from things that aren't meant to come on the next phase of the journey. And like any journey or any move, when you leave things behind, there's more things to be discovered coming ahead. And if we dragged all that baggage, if we took all this stuff, if we didn't let anything go, there wouldn't be room for what's next. So if you're currently in this energy and in this mindset and in this doubt and indecisiveness of, should I let it go? Can I really move on? What if I leave it behind and I regret it? Come back to this message and this reminder that you're making space for new things. You're making space for what's meant for you in this next chapter. And if you don't let go, you can't allow in. Our next card, big energies, still with the water element. Well, technically the air element, but in the card, a lot of water. We have the Star. The Star is very much around the direction you're heading in. That's why I got the sense this week there was a lot of stuff around movement forward, direction forward. What am I called to? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? So the card, the Star this week, is almost like this acknowledgement from the universe. Yes, this is the big stuff. Even though you might be changing little habits and little daily to-dos in your life, shifting how you operate, who you talk to, what you do, it's all for a grander purpose. It's all for a bigger reason. This, the micro little trusting the universe, letting things go, anything else that's coming up and through for you, is for the sake of your future, your overall direction, and your overall enjoyment of what's going to happen in this next chapter. So don't discount the micro steps you're making, because it's the micro that forms the macro. And finally, we come to the last card in the pre-shuffle, which is the King of Cups. Again, water. But this is water that is a very grounded energy. Your task, your challenge, if you choose to accept it, or mission, is to not only work on embracing what you're feeling and where you're called to go and going with that flow, but allowing it to come from a place of steady confidence. Steady confidence does not mean you have all the answers and you're operating from a place of 100% certainty. Steady confidence is making sure that at each step, you are doing what you can with what you have, who you are and how you are, to be your most grounded, stable, and steady. That might mean you take smaller steps. It might mean you get support. It might mean you take a nap. So what's going to keep you grounded, steady, and stable on this journey? Not what's going to get you there the fastest, not what's going to make you look the most professional and like you got all your stuff together, but genuinely what's going to keep you steady, grounded, and stable. Steady, grounded, and stable. Those are some beautiful keywords for you this week. Now let's look at some overall energy coming your way. Now, while those did such a fabulous job, I like to get a few other messages because there's nuance, there's detail. There will be, different stuff coming your way beyond this overarching kind of transformation, change, new chapter. This is the Find Your Purpose deck by Jess Sanders. So let's see what it has to say today. We've got this beautiful tree, some stars. I love that this is almost just confirming, that energy that has just come through. There's growth, there's transformation, there's strength. The stars themselves, that indicator of like where we're heading, what we're called to. But this tree itself, very big emphasis on the roots, on the groundedness of the steady and stable. So whatever you're growing, whatever you're nurturing, whatever you're working on in this next chapter, staying grounded, staying stable, steady. All right, let's see what's on the back here. A quote from Frida Kahlo. At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can. On the surface, bit of a, I don't know if it's pessimistic, but not really rosy and happy. But I love this because sometimes we don't go for what we want because we don't trust ourselves to get there. We don't trust ourselves to stick to it. We may not trust our ability to grow into the big, sturdy, stable tree that we need to be to reach the stars. But you are so much more capable than you know. This tree, if when it was a seed or when it was a sapling, said, I can't possibly grow to the size of those other older trees around me, and it never tried, well, it never would have known. But you have the elements of what it takes to be this strong, sturdy, stable tree. Whatever it is that you desire to do, whatever this next chapter of yours is, whatever you're taking that first leap into as a seed, as a sapling, as a wobbly little tree, you have the capacity to go all the way. If you work on that belief, if you work on staying steady, grounded, stable, if you keep your eye on the prize, on where you're going, on your vision, and if you allow the things that don't serve to stay behind. So the question and the affirmation that goes with this card: when do I underestimate myself? You might think about that broadly in life. Where do I underestimate myself? You might think of that in the particular area you're taking this leap in. Where am I underestimating myself? It might be your own personal capacity. It might be what's possible for you externally, from where you come from in your past, what you predict of your future. Go there. Think about it. The affirmation: I am strong, resilient, and capable. If that is an affirmation you want to carry with you through the week, pop it in the comments below. I am strong, resilient, and capable. And if you come up with your own affirmation that's going to support you this week, pop it in the comments as well. Okay. Now, I also wanted to pull some Work Your Light Oracle cards, Rebecca Campbell's deck, to tap more into this overall energy coming, just to see if we can go a little bit further. That card wants to come out. Any more today? That one. And that one. All right. So this was the first one. I'm never surprised, but I'm always like delighted by the alignment. So the card that has come your way is Awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. To me, this is almost like the Fool card. It's a card of trust. It's a card of like newness. It's a card of, I don't know what's happening here, but I'm going with it. So Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. To me, one of those keywords there, integration. When we start on a new path, when we start from a place of trust, when we're operating totally from belief of what is possible and not what we know because we haven't done it yet, it takes not just, keep leaping, but eventually along that path and along that way, we need to be integrating what we're learning so that you can be more stable, and more grounded, so that you can be more resilient, more capable, more strong. And believing that is like integrating what we're learning, who we're becoming, where we're going. So while your journey in life and while your journey this week in the micro is very much coming from a place of trust and newness, remember that as you go on that journey, it's about integrating and embodying so that we are actually staying present along the path and along the journey. We can do a lot of stuff in life. And if you've ever sort of accomplished something and not really felt like, if you're like, did I really do that? Am I really that person? And you have this disconnection between what you're capable of and who you believe yourself to be, you've not integrated. So along this path, along this journey, as you're stepping up and through whatever's coming your way next, allowing it to integrate, to embody, to become, not just it's something you do, but it's something you be. Our next card, Starseed, what lights you up? Again, this is just giving star card energy in terms of, your North Star isn't just something you go, oh, that one, and you head for it. Your North Star is something that calls you, that resonates with you, that is real and magical and amazing and authentically you. So making sure you're asking yourself this question, what lights you up? If you're a bit lost with that question, think about, what do you enjoy? What is satisfying? What are your values? What's important to you? And if you want something to help you work through that, check out the Being in Your Element Masterclass. Details below. Final card for our overall energies, Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. For many of you catching this reading, whenever that may be, you are stepping up and into part of this next journey in your life is becoming the priestess, is becoming the mystic, is becoming the teacher, is someone becoming more devoted to this sacred level of life that is much more magical, but also much more real to you. It feels more purposeful. It feels more meaningful. So I get that many of you are this, the mystic, the priestess, the teacher. This might also be a message for some of you to go and seek those people. You never have to walk a path alone. And even though in this moment you might feel like that fool who has just got, the dog, the rose, and the little satchel, and you're leaping off this cliff alone, we're never alone. There are people around us. There are resources around us. Depending what you believe, there are spirit guides, there are angels, there are deities, God, whatever it may be, supporting you. So you are not doing this alone. Who can you turn to? Mystic, priestess, teacher, a guide to help you walk this path. All right. And now we're getting to the part that I'm super excited about, is using my spread from, what have I called the book? Tarot Spreads for Every Day and Everyone. This one is the Rest and Reflect, perfect for this transition energy that has just come through. Leap of faith, new chapter, let's do this kind of energy. Now, this spread, and you'll find it in the book, but I'll just explain it to you. It's very simple. It's only got 4 cards. We've got our first card. What area of my life needs attention right now? I'm going to use the Heal Yourself Oracle to pull that thematic card. But when you do this for yourself, if you use this spread, you can use all the same deck. You can use 4 different decks. It's totally up to you. Always trust your intuition. So what area of my life needs attention right now? What area of your life, those of you watching this, needs attention right now? And this will be complementary to whatever journey that you're going on. And even if the journey that you're going on is something to do with business, something to do with love and relationships, something to do with your health, and this isn't, it's complementary. By looking after one area of our life, we look after all areas of our life. It's always a holistic journey. Ooh. Out of all the cards in this deck, not expecting this one. I mean, that's why we use cards, isn't it? To get messages that we wouldn't otherwise have known we needed to receive. So the card that has come out in this area, what area of my life needs attention right now, is number 1, selling out. Such an interesting card. So whatever chapter that you're starting at the moment, whatever new journey you're going on, this embracing of a new part of you or a new path for you, there is this lingering fear. There's doubt, there's this insecurity. That's what we're working on. Now, when I see this card of selling out, I see the area is your own self-worth and self-confidence. This isn't something you go out there and do. I'm not telling you an XYZ routine or habit you need to make. This is an internal healing and journey that needs to take place to support you on this path, to support you on this journey. Now, the word selling out might immediately resonate and make sense to you. Maybe you feel by changing direction, you're selling out. You're taking the easy way. You're doing something that is somehow not allowed. So if the words selling out are triggering to you, investigate that. This area is so important because if we don't believe that we're doing things for the right reasons, that we're worthy of it, that we're capable of it, and if we think it means something negative about ourselves, how is that going to impact the journey ahead? For all the trust, for all the faith, for all the working with the universe and listening to your intuition, all these beautiful things that have seeded this journey, if we also carry with it, and let's get that card again, if we don't leave behind these outdated notions about ourselves, our capacity, and our worthiness, that's really not going to be helpful and healthy on the journey ahead. So that's what we're focusing on. What area of my life needs attention? Your worth, your worthiness, your internal relationship. Now, we've got 3 questions, and I'm going to use the Rider-Waite to go deeper. Oh, there's a card the wrong way up. Let's examine that for a second. 10 of Wands. Feeling called to attach it to that first question. This area of your life needs work because it's become a burden. This area of your life needs work because it's too much to bear or it's about to be. This area of your life needs work because carrying all of this is going to stop you from receiving what is coming your way. So this is feeling like a burden, probably for quite a long time, this area of self-worth and deservedness. Let's do something about it. Let me know in the comments you're ready to do something about it. So our first question, how did I get here? How did you get here to this position? Put that in a very weird way. The Page of Wands. This started a long time ago. This potentially started right at those sort of formation years or months or stages in this journey. Now, if what's really come up and through for you, let's use the example of like an entrepreneurial path. If your first business, if the first course that you were in, if the first month, or even if you've had multiple business, that first one that you started didn't go well, left you with doubt, left you with insecurity, left you with feelings of being unworthy and undeserving, that's how we got here. And I love how it's the Page of Wands and it's led to this 10 of Wands. It's like your journey leading to this too much, too burden, too hard, almost a too late feeling, that's been with you from the start, but you've just taken on more and more and more. So while at the start, that little bit of imposter syndrome, it was difficult and it was scary and it was a bit overwhelming, but you got through it. Without the integration of your growth, without the love and compassion on your journey, without the embodiment of all your gifts and talents, your strengths, your uniqueness, like all that good juicy stuff, and holding on to that little seed of doubt and unworthiness, it's just grown over time. That's how we've gotten here. That's what's happened. So how did we get here? It's been a long time coming. So if you've got a bit of judgment, resentment, resistance around how tough this next chapter feels, know and trust, A, it's been around for a long time. B, acknowledge, thank God, that it's finally come up so I can deal with it. And C, let's go, well, now that I know it's just a product of my past, I can let it go. I can leave it behind. What's my next step? So it's one thing to go, oops, that's the problem, and that's where it came from. What's your next step? Interesting. So we've got the Hierophant. I see this as rewriting the rules, rewriting the rules of your worthiness, rewriting the rules of what it means to be in business or to be healthy or to be in love, whatever area you're working on. Rewrite the rules on what the future holds for you and what is possible in the present. To me, this is also aligning with this priestess, mystic, teacher card. Maybe the priestess, the mystic, the teacher, the guide is someone in a bit more of a traditional field. Maybe it's a very straight-laced business coach. Perhaps it's a personal trainer. Maybe it's about going to the library and finding books on the subject that you wish to grow in or the direction you wish to head in. So there's also the possibility of reaching out for support from really traditional avenues. Many of the people I've worked with and worked for have, for me in the business space, come from a very alternative pathway. They're healers, they are mystics, they are people who are highly spiritual, highly intuitive. And whilst that has served to support me and surround me with complementary beliefs and actions and pathways and guides, I've recently stepped into a very, very, very traditional, run by the government, place of study and learning. And I'm like, this fresh perspective to me, it feels very grounding and very supportive. I've still got all the juicy, wacky woo-woo-ness. That's not going anywhere. But this has brought a new level of guidance that I didn't realize I needed. And for you, it might be the opposite. You might have been very structured, very traditional, going down all the right paths, and you need a bit more of the woo. Just go with what works for you. Our final card in this spread. What can I learn from this? This is how we integrate. This is how we embody. This is how we embrace actually taking on and becoming, and not just be someone that's doing. So what can I learn from this? Page of Swords. This is, for me, almost like the mindset of the Fool, because they're at the stage, they're at the start of their journey. They have this fresh perspective. There's this willingness to learn. And also there's an acknowledgement, like all pages, that there's still a long way to go. And this isn't said with resentment and resistance. It's said with curiosity and wonder and like, oh my God, how far can I go now? I think also this card coming out, it's really interesting that we've had 2 pages. And one page was carrying the burden and the disbelief of our worthiness. And this page goes, I'm going to cut that out. So what we've learned from this journey and from this reading and from this information is we get to, in our minds, with our mindset, with our thoughts, choose what we carry and what we don't. The way to get rid of these burdens, chop out, and that doesn't need to be aggressive, it just means remove, heal, release, allow what doesn't work to leave, to go. It's not coming on this journey. And I think when we really come back to that first card, selling out, part of what needs to be let go of is it's okay to be a beginner again. It's okay to start a new journey and realize you've kind of become like a page, a student in this moment, in this chapter, on this path. You might not be the emperor, the queen, the king. You're back at a page, and that doesn't lessen anything. It doesn't impact your worthiness. It doesn't indicate anything about your deservedness. It's simply a stage of life that you're in. And when you can actually be the page, mind, body, and soul, everything becomes possible because the baggage is gone, and all that is left is passion, is purpose, is power, and this desire to figure out, how do we do this? So I love that. If you enjoyed this spread that we've just used, let me know in the comments below. I'm so keen to be sharing these, by the way. So let me know if you like them. Let me know if you've purchased the book, and it's only $5, by the way, super affordable, what you thought of it. And if there are any other topics that you would like spreads on, you can just reach out and let me know. That is our reading for the 12th to the 18th of August, or whenever you find this. I know it's such a powerful reading. It's going to be like resonating out there for a very long time. And make sure to join me every single week. These come out on Saturday for your extended reading. There's also a lot more support and information, how to stay in touch, and also, how we can work together. So check that out. Thank you and enjoy your week ahead.